Rule 3, hey, how would you like to anxiety-proof your child? We have an epidemic of anxiety in this country and in other countries, an epidemic. You know, I heard a mum the other day, I heard some people over talking, and one mum said, so how is his anxiety in this first week of school? And she said, oh yeah, well, you know, he's still really, really anxious, but he's doing a bit better. And everything within me wanted to jump between them and say, don't you mean nervous? Isn't he just nervous about starting school? Where's that word gone? Why don't we use it anymore? Why have we transitioned from nervous to anxious? It's normal to be nervous on your first day of school. I can remember my first day of high school. Oh, I was nervous. You know, I was nervous about the boys I might meet. I was nervous that I looked okay and attractive. I was nervous about all sorts of important things. But, you know, it's normal to be nervous. I wasn't diagnosed with an anxiety disorder because I was anxious. And I think we need to come back to this word. We need to normalise when it's okay to be nervous. You know, I was nervous this afternoon, and I just spent the afternoon getting my butterflies to fly in formation. It's okay to have butterflies. They just need to fly in formation so you can get on with the job. Why have we lost that? We've lost this. And so do I deserve to feel safe and loved all the time is the question. I don't deserve good things. You're going to get anxious if you believe the world's against you. I'm not a lovable person. You'll be anxious and depressed if you think you're flawed or you're unacceptable. Feeling scared means something bad is about to happen. No one cares when I'm sad or scared. You know, when we indulge fear, it's going to grow. When I said to my mum, I'm scared of the dark, she said, well, get used to it. Night's going to come every day. You know, it comes around every 12 hours. Not, oh, do you want a bed lamp? Oh, do you want some music? Oh, do you want, you know, a massage? Like, how can I? It's like, well, you know, there's no boogeyman. It's just a lie. They don't really exist. The shadow on the curtains is just a cat outside the window. You know, you're okay. You're safe. But now we indulge it. And when you indulge it, it grows. You've got to work out how to validate the child without indulging the fears. So we want children to know they do deserve to feel safe and loved. They do. That's exactly what God wants. It's what He intended. We all deserve to have emotional safety, physical safety, verbal safety, sexual safety, spiritual safety. That's what we all deserve. But did we all get it? No. But that is what the intention was. And just knowing that, children get relief. That's what it was meant to be like, but it's not like that. But God does want that. And most often when I don't feel safe or loved, it's not my fault. Could be my feelings, could be my big brother teasing me, it could be any number of things, but it's not often my fault if I don't feel safe or loved. Even if I don't feel loved, I can still learn to love myself and others. You know, the reality is some children aren't loved, but they can learn to love who they are, believe in who they are, and love trustworthy people. Love trustworthy people. So trust is also quite big here. If a person's trust in life doesn't get off the ground, they're going to spend their life anxious. If a person's trust in people doesn't get off the ground, they're going to spend their life worrying themselves sick about what everyone thinks of them, equals anxious. If their trust in themselves doesn't get off the ground, they can't believe in themselves, they can't feel confident and safe. So just feeling scared doesn't always mean something bad will happen. Our feelings are not always accurate. If there was a monster under my bed every time I felt like there was, I would have had them living in my bedroom most of the time for a year. You know, if my feelings were accurate about everything I thought and felt, I would just be dragged around all over the place and be totally confused. We've got to help our children to know which feeling is reliable and which feeling is not. And you could say that emotional health is having an appropriate reaction and response to the situation. That's quite a good definition of emotional health. I have an appropriate reaction and response to the situation I'm in. So when I'm gardening and I put my hand on a red-bellied black snake, it's an appropriate response to get a fright. It's an appropriate response for my body to release adrenaline because the adrenaline is telling me to do healthy caution. And that's what we need. We don't need anxiety, we need healthy caution. We don't need anxiety, we need due diligence. So if I've got gloves on and I know to step back, then I can let the adrenaline just pass through. You know, it only takes 50 seconds for your kidneys to flush out the adrenaline if you don't feed it. If you feed it, it keeps squirting. If you feed it with your thoughts, if you feed it by believing your feelings, it'll keep squirting. So we have to let it pass through. Anxiety is so rampant now, and one of the problems is that we have not been told we need to challenge our feelings and we need to take our worth and value out of other people's hands, and we need to not live up to every expectation we think people have on us, and we don't need to live up to the high expectations we have on ourselves, and we need to know that nothing terrible is going to happen if someone yells at me or someone shouts at me. Nothing terrible is going to happen if there's a bit of conflict. People are anxious about these kind of things, and they become on red alert. Red alert. So we need to build the courage dog and starve the fear dog. And we need to replace that fear dog with healthy caution. That's rule 3. The beginning of shooting down anxiety from getting off the ground.